Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to this week's Matrexit discussion group call for tactical sovereignty. This is Introduction to Legal Research, which we've been doing now. This is episode number 6. And what I really want to be able to do is cover knowledge for people on this that we weren't really taught in school, but I think this is something everybody should have been not just taught in school, but it should have been pounded into your memory, because these are things that we all have to deal with at one point or another in life. Something that touches everybody, and that's the legal society. And I don't have my partner, my co-host Jeremy, here with me this evening, but that's fine. Always prepared to fly solo, as it were. And tonight I'm going to cover complaints. A complaint is a form of affidavit. In the past several weeks, we've covered affidavits and writing an affidavit out and how to do that. And tonight I'm just going to address a complaint, okay? Because, say, for instance, if somebody's suing you, you'll get served with like an affidavit or a complaint. And on that, they will list normally numerous reasons why they are suing you, why they're coming after you. And the reason why is because you're expected to respond with an answer to that complaint. And you're expected to respond to each and every item on that complaint. And if you don't do that, or even if you just even ignore it altogether, you could likely end up having a default judgment against you. I've had many people come to me saying they had received something or whatever, and I said, well, you've got to answer it, or you need to send something back. You need to like rebut the affidavit or answer the complaint. And they're like, oh yeah, I sent them my packet, like my packet on debt collection, And normally all those packets still include stuff like information on HJR 192, all sorts of things that have absolutely nothing to do with the situation at hand. And then I hear back from a couple weeks later, a month later, and they're like, Brian, I got a question. Do you know how to take care of a default judgment? And I laugh because that's exactly what's going to happen to you if you don't answer it or rebut things correctly. And so that's what I want to show you to do this evening with a complaint. When you receive a complaint, now depending on how service of process is handled in your area, sometimes they might tape it to the door, but normally they prefer to hand it directly to you. Sometimes you might even receive something in the mail. All right. Well, if you read through it, you'll notice that they double spaced all those lines. And the reason why they double spaced them is so that when that is submitted, like to the attorney's office, if they decide to move forward with the case, that way they have an area where they can make notes and write things down as they're going through the complaint or an affidavit. And so in your complaint, you would want to do the same thing. All right. Now, if you receive a complaint and you're going to send a response back, it's simply just going to be titled answer. Okay. And like always, I supply extra information down in the show notes here on YouTube. And this has also got extra information that has been put in the group, Introduction to Legal Research, on Facebook as well. So you can go there to get this info as well, to get this knowledge as well. So at the top of it is going to be answer. That's all you're going to put. And you're also at the top, you're going to have what you consider the address for the case. You're going to list what court it is in, maybe if there's a judge assigned, any of the information that you will typically find it actually right on the top of the complaint itself. They'll show you what to put there. So it's not like, oh, I need to get a template or anything. A lot of times people want a template for something. And it's like, there really are no templates for a lot of these things. There might be a template for a format, but not a template with info that has to be written in, because every situation is different. And you can't use a complaint answer that one person used for another case altogether. It doesn't work that way. So, like I said at the top, you're going to have your address, which is what they consider it, which is basically just the court like if there's a judge assigned, something like that. And then you're just going to have it titled answer. Okay. Now, there's 3 basic ways, all right, to answer a complaint. And complaints are interesting. They're a little different maybe than an affidavit, because in a complaint, the 3 different ways to answer are, you will say, number 1, say, because all these are going to be numbered, all their different things, 1 through however many. And like I say, they will put a whole bunch of things there, hoping that you're not going to be able to answer them all. And you can use the same thing against other people if you're on the opposing side of this situation, all right? Keep that in mind. Look at all law, forwards and backwards, inside and out, because it all works both ways. So they're going to have everything numbered. And one of the ways to answer is you can say, in paragraph number 1 of complaint, the facts are admitted, or the claim is admitted, rather. That'd probably be a better word to use. Or you can say, paragraph number 1 of the complaint, the claim is denied. Now, the interesting thing with a complaint is, whether it's admitted or whether you deny the claim that's being made, you don't have to list all your reasons why you are admitting or denying. Those are the 2 words you need to keep in mind. Now, if you do want to put a little summary to maybe help whoever's reading this comprehend your side of the issue, after you've said, paragraph number 1, the claim is denied, you can put a short little 1 or 2 sentence reason as to why it's denied. Maybe the claim is, we've tried to get payment from so-and-so, and they refuse to pay. Well, you could put a claim is denied because I have offered on this date, this date, and this date to make payment, and they will not settle with me. At which time you can put in bold letters, see Exhibit A. Or if it's a second exhibit, see Exhibit B. And then attached to your complaint answer, you can put information, you can put, whatever notes or the date and the time, any kind of evidence you have to back up that you offered a payment form in that type of a situation. Then after you've gone and you've answered all of those things, make sure you answer each and every one of them. At the end of the complaint, right, your answer to the complaint, you're going to put what is referred to as certificate of service. You don't necessarily have to title it certificate of service, but you're just going to put in there how the other party is being served, how they are receiving your answer, with the name and address of the other party, whether it's being handed to them or mailed to them. Always check within your jurisdiction or state to see what service of process is accepted in that area. And if it's an attorney and it's being sent to them, put their name and their address there. And then you're going to follow up by putting your name, your address, your phone number, you put the date there, and you're going to want to go and make 3 copies. Now, the original of this is really going to get filed to the court, okay? And you're going to send a copy to the opposing party and keep also for your files a copy of what you wrote yourself. That way, if there's any question, you can always go back and say, no, this is how I answered number 56 or number 2 or whatever in the complaint. And it's really that simple. I'm going to take a peek and see if my co-host showed up here with us this evening. Let's see if I see him on the board. And I don't. If anybody has a question, feel free to raise a hand if you want. Other than that, this has been pretty short and simple this evening because that's what a lot of this is. A lot of this info is short and simple. People freak out when they, get served something in the mail or whatever. Don't freak out on it. You got to realize this is just a game. And they just hit the ball into your court. Now, what you want to do is hit the ball back into their court and try and put a little bit of spin on that ball that they're not going to be able to handle. Well, thank you everybody for being here this evening. Like I said, this was how to answer a complaint. And these same rules go down for how an affidavit is rebutted as well. Same exact process, same concept. Like I said, there'll be links for this down in the notes here on YouTube, as well as a link for the group, Introduction to Legal Research. Go to Facebook, join that, and if there's anything you're looking for, go up to that magnifying glass that you'll see like up in the top of the group, and just put in a keyword in there or something, just like you would on any other search engine, and it'll bring stuff up for you. On Mondays or Tuesdays, I'm also always sharing a list of definitions for words or terms to look up. And it'll only be 10. I keep it at 10 every week, and that comes up on Monday or Tuesday, and that gets tagged everyone to that group. That way, every member that's in there is over 300 now. Every member that's in that group can go and see that list, and also included in that list, if you don't have on hand the resources needed to look up those terms or definitions, I have online links there that you can use as well to look those things up. And that way, we're all just kind of learning these things together. Other than that, thank you everybody for being here this evening. And until next week, happy learning.